I prefer not fixing this issue, by the way, because it's making it easier for videos to upload as well when they are in relatively smaller size. Otherwise, you have to upload a 3-hour video, and in this 3 hours, generally an internet problem shows up. Okay, I guess everyone came, so I will let you share your screen again.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I was I'm not sure if I talked about interstitial ads before, and basically they mean the ads where the player can choose. The definition says it's the kind of ads that doesn't interrupt gameplay, and if I'm not wrong, they generally are the ones that offer you a choice, right? So generally, you can choose to watch or not. Or
Which one you mean? Rewarded ads or interstitial one?
I mean, I guess there are some ads that go into both categories, right? For instance, was it Arch Hero? I'm not sure, but in some casual and hyper casual games, there are the ads that show up at the end of each level, and you can choose to watch it to double your score, double your points, or you can skip the ads and go on with the next level.
Yeah, like if you watch it and you get rewards, it's a rewarded video, not interstitial. The other one is interstitial. Interstitial is something that you can skip. Rewarded video is something that you cannot skip because at the end of the video, you will get rewarded. But some of the networks allow you to skip, but they warn the player that says if you are going to skip this video, you will be losing the rewards.
Oh, okay.
So, and interstitial can be a video or static image or any GIF that you can skip. It really depends on the network. It's sometimes you can immediately skip it. Sometimes you have to, like, the skip button just appears some 3 seconds later or maybe 5 seconds later, but you will be able to skip it.
So we call those ads interstitial then, right? So the ad shows up. So after each level, the choice is yours to watch the ad and double your earned.
It's rewarded video.
Oh, okay, then it's rewarded.
It's rewarded video.
I mean, the psychology that I had was like this. If I have a high score on this level, then I prefer to watch, and then doubling my score gives me more coins, basically. And because of that, I'm feeling like I'm in charge, and I'm basically creating a strategy, an algorithm to whether watch or skip the rewarded ads. So maybe this might be the reason why rewarded ads may work for your game. They create an illusion of choice, actually.
Yeah. Yes, and illusion of choice plus some rewards also. It really affects. Like for example, maybe with those coins, maybe after getting those coins, you will go to the store and spend it, and you will be more powerful. Yeah. Or maybe just like you are at a level that you really invest too much on it. You have been trying to just complete those levels for maybe many times, but at some point you are really close and you die, and I'm 100% sure that everyone going to watch that rewarded video if they just spend like 10 minutes to pass one level and fails at the really close finish line. You know, everyone will be willing to press that button to watch
Yeah,
it.
to watch, to get an extra life.
Extra life, yeah, to get an extra life.
And the general game design idea is actually rewarding the player rather than punishing, rewarding the good behavior, the intended behavior, rather than punishing the unintended behavior. By
Yeah.
unintended behavior, I mean the behavior that we does not want we do not want to allow as game designers. So if you are creating an ad that is obligatory for players to watch, then this may feel like it's a burden to the player, but if it's giving a reward, then you are basically encouraging player to do what you want. So it's also a good approach from the design perspective as well.
Yeah, true. And the player behaviors are changing, by the way. Like in these days, everyone is really used to watch Interstitial as 2 if you compare them with 3-4 years ago, because a lot of hyper casual games just provides a lot of advertisements and the players are really used to watch them. I think right now they know to leave it ads, so they don't care too much because they feel like, okay, if I don't play this game, the next one will have the same ideology in the future. So they don't. I think they don't care it right now to watch ads. And again, but it's really, if you bombard the player with a lot of ads, it will be interrupted and it will be boring to the game for player two. But again, rewarded video it's a really strong monetization model here for the in-game advertisement. And there's banners. It's really pretty much easy. And if you put that on your screen, that doesn't interrupt the gameplay. And again, player won't care about it to having those kind of banners inside the game. Again, it can look awful. Maybe you did a great job there and you have a great art style, and that those banners won't be fitting there. You can always ignore it. It's the banners revenue, if you calculate with the against others, won't be high, but it still generates some sort of revenue for the game. But again, if you want to focus on banners too much, then you need to have longer play sessions for the game. For example, if your game session, if the average play session is less than 1 minute, maybe you don't need to put banners there. You won't be showing a lot of banners to the player, and there will be no sense to put them. You won't be able to optimize your banners, and it makes your game awful, maybe in your mind, in your vision. Yeah, and there's a native ones that you. And as I told you, we haven't tried. I don't have much expertise on it, but it's something that really fits. Instead of saying that I'm an app, it really fits on your game content or maybe your application content. In game, I didn't see too much, but for example, you can always consider as like putting a small widget inside your application that really looks like your UI, and those ads won't be interrupt the player vision, and they see it as your own content instead of advertisement, and they said it really works on the application side. And I haven't seen on my closer area to put those kind of ads inside the games. And again, I think we covered it here.
So the best kind of ad that works for your game depends on your genre or gameplay.
Yeah, it really depends on gameplay. It really depends on genre too. For example, for idle games, rewarded video works better than interstitial because and also the banner also works because the play sessions are longer per day. They can even play up to 35 minutes per day. So it's great, and it's great to start monetizing that. But again, if your game is hyper casual and the player life cycle is too small, and per day you have 4 or 5 minutes sessions, again, the interstitial plus rewarded and plus banner would be suitable for you. And again, you need to find the balance between those, and you don't want to make your player churn in the long run. Again, and there's subscription. Those are also in-app purchases, but I want to touch them as a separately because, as I told you, it's in United States, subscription has a history, like it just history along. But in our countries and also Europe, subscription is kind of new technique that people think subscription as a business model. So here, what does it mean? You give an option to player or your audience to subscribe your content, and with this subscription, you just give some awards to player, maybe in a day, maybe per day, per week, or per month. It really depends on your strategy. There are several options here. For example, daily subscription, weekly subscription, monthly subscription, and yearly and the quarterly subscription, which means every 3 months. You can go as you wish here, but I think there's only one thing that you really consider here: the content that you are giving. Because if that content is not enough to player to subscribe your pack, is that having a wrong content there. Maybe your player doesn't care about having 1,000 coin every day. Maybe they care about something else. Maybe what we tried here, we tried subscription model, by the way. What we are doing is we are giving 2 different customization to the player avatar, and also removing all the ads and giving the 1,000 coin every day, which maybe with that 1,000 coin, it also fires the retention of the user, because they said that, okay, I have a subscription for those games and I'm getting 1,000 coin per day, which means that I can come next day and get my 1,000 coin, and then I can spend it all for other goods. And maybe you can give the powerful avatar to your player to feel more powerful, and no one can buy it. Only the VIP customer, only the subscriber will get that kind of customization. Maybe that skin, or maybe that hat, or maybe a gun that only subscribers have it. It can also fire some sort of socialism there. Maybe player wants to feel himself or herself something unique, something VIP, something more important. And again, for subscription, there's only 2 ways. One is renewable and auto-renewable, and one is non-renewable. Auto-renewable is something as it's on the name, it renews itself periodically. If you choose weekly subscription, player doesn't need to do anything. It just subscribes. It just renews itself every week. And non-renewable is, again, it's not renewable. It's one time. If player wants to get that feature, he or she needs to renew it by itself. It's something that you always consider about it. Maybe you want to be fair with your customers and don't want to go with auto-renewable one, because auto-renewable subscriptions the player always forgets it. I also forget my auto-renewable subscriptions too much, for example. And you want to be fair with your audience, and you instead of going auto-renewable, you can go with the non-renewable one here. I think, yeah, this one is also the same. I have nothing to say here, just to add here, because this is this is it. Yeah, just like as a takeaway, we as a game designers or game developers, we need to detect our targets very well, target audience very well. We need to analyze their behaviors and start thinking about the monetization model with the target audience. Again, if you don't know your target, if you don't know your audience, it means that you will mostly fail. But with those failure, at some point you will get the success. And choosing the best monetization model that fits your game. Again, if it's a hyper casual game, it's similar to us. What you can do is you can really stick with the in-game advertisement model, or maybe the game that you have is similar to hybrid casual or casual ones. Like maybe you are developing a game similar to Clash Royale. You can go with in-app purchasing, and again, maybe that audience really suits for in-app purchasing model. Or you don't care any of them and you want to have a paid model that player buys your game and plays it. Maybe you have a content for really suitable for that. And again, you need to test a lot. You need to test even the colors of the button that player wants to buy, that buys a coin, or maybe fires a second chance button. We are testing a lot of things here, just like changing the color of the button, changing the word of the button, size of the button. It really affects. Again, it really affects that. Those kind of things really affects them. And yeah, you really focus on the top spenders and also the ad whales. This is something because if you will focus on the in-app purchasing monetization model, I'm sure that only the 2 or 3% of your audience will buy your goods, and you need to focus on them, not the others. The others will bring those players to your inside to your game. You can think as you can think them as your influencers, because if a lot of people are playing your game, it doesn't mean that all of them pays something or to your game or something. So for the in-app purchasing model, you need to focus on that top spender. You need to find those spenders because otherwise there is no make sense to put any kind of in-app purchasing model there. And for advertisement, it's called ad whale. And again, you need to focus on those ad whales. Maybe there are some people out there really doesn't care about the watching ads, and while watching ads, they feel like themselves as a powerful. Maybe they are dying a lot on your games. Maybe they are not skillful enough to pass your levels, but really, and again, maybe they are really addicted to your game to play more and see the next level. And And this is basically it, actually. These are the topics that you need to focus on your monetization model for your future games. Yeah, this is basically it, actually. This is all I have. Maybe it's something short, but again, as I told you, my expertise are mostly focusing on the mobile one instead of the PC or Steam or console. So if you have any kind of questions here, please feel free to reach out by email or checking our page. Or if you want to contact with me directly, you can just send an email direct to me.
Thank you. By the way, I was going to say that I watched a video from Game Developers Conference, and the he wasn't the person that was talking wasn't an monetization expert as far as I remember, but he was saying that if you are designing your gameplay on the whales only, then you will make your content inaccessible for 98 of your player base, and they are also valuable, and because of that they actually released the first hour of their game without asking for anything from the player. So they did not, they designed their game without ads or in-app purchases for the first hour and or for the first level. So but it was almost 1 hour of gameplay, and they were like supporting this mentality basically.
Yeah, actually you're right. The thing that I said, that focus on the top spenders, I mean, for the monetization aspect, for the gameplay aspect, you need to focus on the broad, because as I told you, that 98% of the players that doesn't buy, but will bring those wares onto your game. So you need to create some sort of addiction with your gameplay, and maybe giving a lot of things free, maybe just making the player wins at the first level. Maybe everyone knows that, like in PUBG, if you go there and if you play on your first level, everyone is bot. Just you can almost win if you have some sort of skill for the play those kind of games. It brings some sort of addiction to you, that it's player starts thinking that, okay, I can do this. If you make your game so hard for the broad market, then there is no addiction. There will be no engagement to your game, and you are most likely going to fail with those strategy. And again, it's like, maybe you know that in the console generation right now, developers are really focusing on making the games casual, not for the competitors, making them casual with the old gameplay aspect. Because if my wife can play Last of Us 2, it means that everyone can play it, and it means that PlayStation will sell a lot of PlayStation for more people. So if you just make the gameplay more easy to adapt for any kind of audience, then you are at a good point. My aspect was the monetization side. The rest is different, because as I told you, you need a great content. Great content means great gameplay, addiction for the gameplay, and everything starts from there. So if you have a great one, you can always test the best monetization strategy on top of it. If you don't have any game and you say that I have a great monetization model, I'm pretty sure that it won't work. in the beginning, you need the game.
And as another question, what was the sorry, the I mean, today, for instance, we were talking about the calculations that our product manager had for our game. So he basically searched some statistics online and did some calculations on the expected return rates and expected expense for our game. He calculated the average money we will be spending to acquire a new user from North America, and he did some calculations, and I asked for the link so we can check out. But are there any similar sources that you can suggest so that we can actually do the math and decide between different strategies and see the numbers. By the way, we have a multiplayer card game that's being currently developed. So we want loyal players, which will be more likely to spend some dollars so they can get more cards. It's the card upgrade system is similar to Clash Royale, basically.
Yeah, there are some there are some tools around the market, but most of them are expensive and paid that you can check the numbers. Those numbers will be precise. There are some free features that provides from those tools, but I can tell them there's Sensor Tower. If you go and check it for the mobile games, you can at least find the download numbers and some sort of revenue range from the in-app purchasing. But again, those numbers won't be accurate. There's some sort of, but if you buy the paid version, you will get almost like 90% accurate values there. This, like, we have those kind of tools access. We are always checking, but again, for the in-app purchase side and for the paid side, it's really easy. But for the advertisement side, it's really complicated, and no one has never done yet in the current stuff. Maybe they have some of the publishers have an internal tool, but there is no external one to check check that the advertisement revenue of the game, because there are lots of advertisement networks around the market, and everyone not only uses the one. So we are also working with 11 different networks for the advertisement, and I understand that it's really complicated for a tool to get all the numbers with some sort of crawls.
So you said that you are working with 11 different ads services. How are you combining and deciding between which ads will show up?
Actually, there are some tools called mediation. With those mediation, you're only using, as a technical side, you're only using one code base. And again, with the other networks that you're using, you just start adjusting that with that mediation tool dashboard. And it really depends on the price point. We are not saying that, hey, show one network ads instead of saying that, hey, show Facebook ads, we say that, hey, show ads that gives me $30. And then the other network starts bidding against each other to win that auction. If Facebook wins, I show Facebook ads to the player. Or if Google wins, I show Google ads. Kind of, there are some different tools for it. But again, it's something like really for technical side. And it doesn't bring anything to the gameplay. Yeah, it's different.
And as I recall, a friend of mine, I mean, not a close friend, but a student from Bahçeşehir University, maybe you know Şeyma. She was working as a developer on mediation, and I guess you can also write the algorithms right yourself. So maybe if you have a bigger company, then you don't want to rely on already written mediation tools, and you instead write them yourselves, I guess.
Technically, yes, but like Voodoo, let's say Voodoo is the biggest one for the hyper casual here. They are also using third-party mediation tools for it. So technically, yes, but it doesn't mean that you need to do it. You can always use it. Again, those mediation platforms, they are really open source, like not as a code base, but as the revenue side. Most of them are really open source and really transparent. So, but again, it can broke, like it can broke everything on your game. But again, most of the publishers and the big companies also uses those kind of mediation platforms, and they are always testing one against each other. But maybe they have tried in the past, but in the current situation, I don't know anybody that uses their own because it's really hard. There are lots of networks and new networks coming every day. On the technical side, you have to tackle with all the problems. It's really hard, and again, you need a huge team for it, for the maintenance only.
Okay, I see. And you also talked about the times when you worked with a publisher. I guess, worked for publishers with for 3 years or so, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you? I mean, last lecture, Burak Tezateşer also told that the suggested way of raising your funds is working with a publisher at start. So I think it can be a good approach for indie developers as well. And can you tell us your story?
Yeah, I was a student at Bahçeşehir University, master degree program for game design. The Suji game co-founded with 4 people, me with 3 other co-founders, and only one of them is not from Bahçeşehir University, but rest of them are from Bahçeşehir University. So we met there. Then we always have a dream that has a game studio. So we joined the forces. We start working on it. Then for 6 months of work, we developed one game, which is called Misa. It was paid game, premium. We tested it. We spent 6 months to develop it. We just gave our everything for that game. But then as a financial side, we broke with that game. But after developing that game, after developing Misa, actually, it just opens us too many doors, too many ways and doors. We met with a lot of publishers. Those publishers saw our value, saw our quality about the game. Then we start working with them. Working with publishers, especially in these days, in mobile gaming, it's really easy. And mobile game publishers, especially for hyper casual, really pays a lot to their developers because they can, and also they are really meaningful for them because testing a lot in a mobile game, especially for hyper casual. You don't need to stick with one game for 1 year. You have to test a lot. You need to, at least if you're a 4 people team of 4 people, I can say that you need to test 1 game per week, because with these numbers, you can find the success. But again, it doesn't mean that you can't find the success if you stick with 1 game for 1 year. But again, you will have a low ratio of finding luck. So publisher for mobile and hyper casual side, they covers the development costs and really helps the indie developers or new studios, because when we started, we haven't had those kind of privilege, because 4 of us has been working for their own jobs. We were developing our games on our spare times, so that was the reason why it took 6 months. But when after we launched that game, I can say that we spent 6 months for 1 game. On its release day, it only sold 1.5K unit, and second day it sold nothing. I can say that. And the game was $1 price tag. So if you calculate, it's 1.5K, and Apple cut 30% of it, and you can make the calculation. Then we start talking with publishers. One of them was Good Job Games, and we start working with them. They gave us that
particular game or for other games.
Sorry, for other games. After we start working with Good Job Games, we start developing hyper casual games. So they really boost our times. Especially they start covering the development cost with this power. We just quit our own jobs and get together to work for our dream job, especially that I can say. Working with publisher really helps us, helps for the developers, that studios that really in their seed phase. But it's really tough if you have continuously work on it. But at the end, you have a lot of chance. You have a lot of chance to get the success while working with them. Don't go solo at the beginning. But you can always shift your ideology later states. But the first, if you're new, if you want to just start immediately without having a lot of funding, maybe not long reach. But I was there. I was also a student and thinking about making the next console game or PC game. But you also need some sort of expertise in your area, and you need to start from somewhere. And it really helps in the studios to working with the publisher. Some say that okay, you are developing hyper casual games, so what? Okay, but